Who would be most proud of you today?
I think probably my grandfather. He was a World War II veteran. He sent me on my first foreign exchange in college to Italy and Spain and Europe, saying that I had to pay it forward someday. And a lot of that travel really gave me a lot of perspective into what a lot of the different cultures around the world, how they're impacted, how they suffer, and how much impact we have on their culture. Who would be most proud of you today?
I think, and I'm sure of this answer, and they're both alive. My parents. Mm-hmm. My dad worked with oil his whole life. Mm-hmm. And my mom saw me taking my suitcases and leaving her house and moving to New York just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I know they are very proud of the fact that I'm here, the fact that I made it, yeah. The fact that I have a beautiful daughter that feels proud, and I have this conversation with them all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's good that I hear it sometimes too much, but I know they're proud of me and my journey.
Yeah. What path did you take to become Director of ESG and Sustainability at PSEG?
So it's an interesting question, because I sometimes feel that I took the long road to end up where I am today. I have a major in finance, and my first graduate program was in capital markets. So I was destined to work on Wall Street and move to New York at one point, but I decided that was not what I wanted to do with my life at some point, and started exploring. Ended up at Columbia University in the School of International Public Affairs, discovered environmental policy, energy management, and found this place 16 years ago. Fantastic opportunity doing environmental policy, and sort of the evolution of sustainability all these years, a decade and a half ago, sustainability has evolved with me, and I have evolved with it, and the function has evolved simultaneously.
Yeah. It's funny, our paths are so similar, because I also had a point in my career when I could have chose finance, and then decided I wanted to get my MBA, but not in just any kind of business. Like, I wanted to do something meaningful and impactful, so majored in sustainable business. So yeah, it's good to hear that story. What inspires you to do the work that you're doing?
So there are several things. I could start with, the purpose of life and feeling that what I do makes a difference. That was the genesis of this whole crisis, and trying to find a fit for my career. But mainly today, I have a 9-year-old daughter that asks questions, that pays a lot of attention of what I do, and that feels very proud about the fact that I work in this industry. Mm-hmm. She actually tells her friends that her mom helps energy be better, and I have to fulfill, that is a big, very, very big statement. Yeah. I want to still feel that I help make energy better.
Yeah. You have an obligation to her.
Yes, we do have an obligation with the next generation.
Yeah.
And I think what we do, whether it's environmental or social, and making this business become better, mm-hmm. we are helping also the next generations that come after us.
So I have a daughter that's very similar in age to yours. She's going on 10 now. Living in Oregon, she and I are very inspired by nature. Like, trees are at the root of everyone that lives in the Pacific Northwest. And one of the things she said to me this year, as we saw trees coming down in our neighborhood, was, how are people going to breathe without trees?
Yeah.
And it was so simple. It was such a simple message. And so that kind of like simplicity of business and how businesses can be more responsible is so inspiring. What sustainability challenges are you anticipating from this transformation?
So there are many conversations when you start talking about the greed One is the need for energy efficiency and the educational component that brings. For years, it was, to just change the windows on a poor neighborhood, and that is not what that is about. It's teaching individuals that if they use less electricity, they're going to put less pressure on a grid that we all use. So there's a charge component on the use of that grid that we all have to bear. So that is one. And two, all the electrification and the pressure on the grid has an impact from a climate perspective that we all have to measure and assess and start thinking about. And another trend that we are all seeing is artificial intelligence and the fact that the data centers are proliferating in the United States, and how different jurisdictions, different states are preparing for that, because there is definitely going to be a push in terms of load and the grid. We have to get ready for that, and we need to have a conversation about the benefits for a community perspective, benefits from an environmental perspective, and the potential risks from both angles as well.
Right. Do you feel like you've fulfilled your obligation to your daughter?
I try every day to do that, yes, absolutely.